I've been thinking a lot about this topic lately, mostly thanks to the TikTok algorithm. So if you don't like what I'm about to say, maybe blame that and go easy on me. I want to make it perfectly clear that I'm a diehard fan of the OG Final Fantasy VII. I pushed myself to get through Remake, and I'm glad I did, but I ultimately abandoned my playthrough of Rebirth toward the end of Chapter 9. Now, in this video, I'm not going to elaborate on my criticisms of Remake or Rebirth. I'm not going to bash what are decent games or shake my fists at Square Enix, mostly because I haven't had my coffee yet. Joking. What I am going to do though is try to contextualize why my side has not always put our best foot forward. I've been guilty of this. I've seen other content creators do more harm than good at times as well. I'm not asking you to excuse it or even forgive it. For the sake of everyone who loves Final Fantasy VII in any or all of its iterations, I am expecting you to understand, and I'm humbly asking for your sympathy. Whatever you decide to do from this point on, though, is your choice. In my heart of hearts, I really do want to approach this in good faith with a collaborative spirit. To that end, let's back up and start with the context. It all started with TikTok pushing some Final Fantasy VII Remake Rebirth content from SebiWebs. Now, before we go any further, we need to have a calibration moment, probably one of many, given the topic of this video. You don't have to agree with SebiWebs, and you certainly don't have to like him. From what I've seen of his content, he doesn't really care if you do or don't. But if we're going to do anything productive here, you need to at least be able to meet me at one point. Whether you agree with him or not, whether you think he does more harm than good, whether you think he's disingenuous or not. I'm not here to talk about any of that. So if that's all you have to say at the mere mention of his name, there's plenty of TikToks for you to go engage with. Have a nice day. Where I'm asking you to meet me is here. I found his criticisms of the overall writing quality of Remake Rebirth to be somewhat compelling. Are all of his arguments compelling? Certainly not. As some people have pointed out, there are some false equivalencies and weak comparisons. That being said, the overall thrust of some of his arguments resonate, at least with me, particularly again when he criticizes the writing quality of the Remake Rebirth project. You can disagree with him. You can think he's wrong. But we have to start on some kind of common ground. I only invoke him for context. I'm asking you to listen to me. Anyway, as one could expect from the almighty algorithm, I eventually started getting pushed the opposite end of the discussion, particularly people reacting to clips of SebiWebs. And as often happens when you hear something you disagree with, at first I was just mad. But once I got over my initial reaction, I started listening. As I pointed out above, there were some valid counter-arguments, particularly when they focused on the quality of SebiWeb's individual arguments. That's great. I want to see more of that. I'm here for that. What I'm not here for is calling us old head. That has nothing to do with the validity of our arguments. It's just mean, reductive, and dismissive. It does not invite discussion, it shuts it down. Again, pot calling the kettle black. My side has not always entered this discussion in the spirit of collaboration. Anyway, I don't want to spend too long on that because I have much more interesting things to say, or at least I think I do. After a while of appreciating the arguments from the other side, I then got pissed off because I wanted to get back to cute chihuahua videos again. Like, I get it, but enough already. We're all smart, passionate people who sometimes miss the mark and twist the knife just a little too much because we all love this game so much. Wait, full stop. That's the point that so many of us miss. This is so hard. It's so frustrating and fracturing because we all love this game so goddamn much. And that's kind of beautiful. It kind of makes you think that maybe this struggle is worth it. Maybe these are the growing pains that will lead to a brilliantly defining moment in this game's enduring legacy. Maybe. But it'll certainly never happen if we don't listen to each other. And those of you who love Remake Rebirth, if you walk away with nothing else from this video, hear this. I think there's a lot worth listening to in what you're saying. So, with the context out of the way, I'm bringing us back to where we started because I think we're ready to talk about why we OG fans were so hurt and so mean. I'm standing here in earnest, wearing my heart on my sleeve in potentially one of the most toxic spaces in the world, but also the one with the most potential for radical, widespread collaboration, the internet. I'm neither here to excuse the worst of our behavior nor to be forgiven, only to ask that you listen. As I said in the beginning, if you're still here, I expect you to understand, but I am humbly asking for just a little sympathy. Now, among the TikTok content from the other side that I got pushed, one content creator stood out from the rest. And this creator is actually responsible for making me come to the crucial realization that made me feel compelled to make this video in the first place. Your rascal's videos, more than anyone else's, got pushed to me for very good reason. This creator is clearly very smart and for the most part appears to be genuine. And it's very clear and absolutely fair that he's tired of my side's BS of honestly just shitting on Remake Rebirth at times, and I sincerely appreciate the call out and the overall focus on positivity. But he said something that many of you will find innocuous. Innocuous because we say it so many times about games that just don't do it for us. But it struck a chord with me this time. It's a variation of, it's just not for me and that's okay. Words I uttered to myself in some of my earlier Remake Rebirth criticism videos. Now, his exact words were, "I'm sorry it isn't for you." And let me tell you, it hit different when I wasn't just saying it to myself, when he said it to me. And you know what? If I'm being really honest, it's not okay. It's not O-fucking-K. I love OG Final Fantasy VII to a radically uncool extent. You know the caricature of those fanboys from the late 90s and early aughts who got made fun of, for good reason, for metaphorically circle jerking around the altar of Final Fantasy VII, unable to fathom that anyone, even its own developer, could top it? That was me. It's the first game I stayed up all night playing. It captivated me some 20 years ago and it still does. I'll probably never play Remake again because it's not for me, but I'd conservatively estimate that I will relive the OG experience a good 3 to 5 times before I kick the bucket. And that's what's so heartbreaking. We waited for so long. We dreamed of what this could have been. We sat through teaser trailers at E3 and tantalizing headlines for years. We wanted this so bad, and it's not for us. Call us out for being jerks. Don't stop that, but that's why. Because we were hurt. We didn't feel seen by the very company we faithfully hitched our hopes and dreams to. I've got a lot of thoughts about why it just isn't for me. Definitely way too many, like, good God, get a life, Raven. But that's not the purpose of this video. I'm here to lay down my sword. For admittedly some very good reasons, you're tired of us, but we're not going away. We may never see eye to eye, but all I'm asking is that you see me and acknowledge me, as I see you and acknowledge you. Keep making content about how much you love Remake Rebirth. As I've admitted in previous videos, there's a lot to love and you're saying a lot that's worth listening to. But be kind to those of us who have a hard time accepting that it just isn't for us. I guess I shouldn't speak for all of us, but that's at least where I'm coming from.